What's going on? TK coming at you. Just want to hit you guys with the overall concept of diversification. Now, a lot of people argue with the plate is full concept in terms of we're not taught how to multitask and we're not able to diversify to the point where we have a wide range portfolio. But what I admonish people is that if your portfolio is asset based, can you have too many assets? I mean, that's the key to diversification, is to focus on assets that pay you. So you can't really spread yourself too thin if the multiple income sources that you have all paying you in assets like gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Right now, I have 7 different sources of income. Now, all of them don't pay me equally, but the Bitcoin income that I have is paying me pretty damn good, $200 a day. So when you diversify to multiple platforms, make sure that each platform is paying you daily in an asset. And that's how you manage to do more than one thing. So the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is the ability to change, because that's something that a lot of people can't seem to do. There's a pattern that gets established in human behavior, and that pattern usually involves some sort of negativity, meaning your routine isn't something adding to your life that is making you grow every day, but you realizing that or not giving a care about that doesn't make you say, well, let me change some things up, let me do some things differently. Because I listen to a lot of conversations, a lot of threads on Facebook, and for me, Facebook is just business. I use Facebook like white pages. Somebody a long time ago who was a 6-figure earner told me, he said, friend people who are going or already at where you're trying to go, and delete people who are below where you are. So that's how I use Facebook. That's the only way that that I use it. I use it for business. Okay. So reading different threads within various people's posts and following conversations on various threads, it gives me a feel for where people are at, what they're thinking, what is going on actively in the business world. Because it just gives you a barometer that measures where things are at and where things are going. So that's what I analytically input to my Facebook experience. Okay, and doing so, conversations are habitual, habits are negative, and daily growth is not a focus. And that's one observation that I pull from watching. Okay, so it's a personal choice to say, I'm going to evolve, I'm going to do better, I'm going to add to my life, I'm going to do things that make financial sense. But a lot of people don't make those type of conscious decisions. Subconsciously, they're programmed to fail, and they just follow that failure path day in and day out. It involves negative liabilities, it involves sticking to job, it involves never focusing on investments, not plugging money into assets. I mean, the list is pretty negative and pretty long. So at some point you have to get to the change idea in your mind that, okay, I want to do something different to get something different. And that's something that I encourage but don't see too often. I have a lot of inherent flaws. My temper is short, my patience is short. I'm very focused, which makes me sometimes able to overlook things. Very aggressive, which some people consider a negative trait. Very strong because of my upbringing and the hardships that I've been through. So a lot of people are intimidated by that strength. I'm unyielding, and when you're unyielding, again, it comes across as You're not willing to help others. So I have a lot of inherent problems, but I do consciously work on it and strive to get better. So that's the difference. I think people don't take the conscious stand of, let me improve myself, let me focus on self-improvement in some sort of way, that's just an observation. So when it comes to financial independence and change, the only thing I see is complaining. A lot of people point the finger at me and say, oh this, oh that, in terms of where I'm at or not at. But I can say that I actively work to give myself a raise. I participate in investment platforms that put money back into my house every day, and I take the investment returns and put it back into the investment so that I constantly get a raise. I'm at $200 a day in Bitcoin right now, but shit, that's temporary. The more I put back in, the higher my income increases. So, my goal is to get to 10 accounts in one investment and 10 accounts in the other investment, which will put me at a financial daily income that surpasses the average. So I hear complaining from people about what's not possible, there's no other option. And when you present other options to people, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to learn about it, nor are they interested in growing past their limited knowledge. Someone exposing you to something that you've never seen before just means, okay, open your mind, figure out how this can or cannot help you. But no, what it usually turns into is arrogance in what they're already pre-programmed. I realized and come to the understanding a long time ago that there's always someone who can teach me something. I just have to open my mind to the possibility of learning. You have to be an open book, not a closed book. So if you walk around with that type of mentality, you're going to get different results in life. And these are just suggestions coming from my walk. My 43 years on this planet has exposed me to different things, and I try to share those different things at different times in the event that anybody listening possibly can help or be helped. The closed-minded nature of the average person walking around means that's not true. But you're not faulted for not planting a seed. You plant the seeds, you water it, and if nothing ever comes of it, at least you put forth the effort, okay? And that's the way I look at things. So if you break through the mental slavery and the program failure, and you get into an optimistic glasses full or half full mentality, then you're able to constantly add to your tool belt, add things to your repertoire that assist you, so that in the future you could be like, yeah, I got that tool right back here in my back pocket, let me pull it out because now is the time. But if you're closed and you're like, I don't need that tool, when am I ever going to build anything? And then that building situation comes up and you have no tools. And that's the situation I see most people in, because that's what limits you to no progress. So take my suggestion, leave my suggestion, doesn't matter. I share not because I have to, but because I want to. And my heart is truly in helping other people open doors. $200 a day may not seem like shit to you, but it's extra money outside of my job, and it means quite a bit, especially because it allows me to do things that some people can't do. I'm in a situation right now where I have to take a week's worth of income, and instead of putting it back into the program, I have to put it toward helping someone. But the fact that I have an online business that pays me $200 a day allows me to make that kind of decision. So it's a detour away from giving myself a raise, but it's also a positive thing because I'm taking a week's worth of business income and I'm giving it to help somebody else's situation. So you can't even make that kind of decision if you don't open the door to the possibility and learn the duplication process, because this is passive. I don't have to fucking recruit people. I don't have to beg you to help me make money. This is me doing me by myself with my own decisions, my own actions, and getting my own results. So this is a passive income strategy for success.